Right guys, we have a ton of tidbits regarding the September event. We have details on the date, what products are going to be announced, and whether this event's going to take place in person or not. So let's delve into it. So personally, I've been wanting Apple to go back to the in-person events. I've kind of had enough of the pre-recorded events. Yes, the transitions were sick initially, but that's kind of worn off. And I really think a live audience does massively build hype, and so with a lot of manufacturers going back to in-person events, I was kind of hoping that was going to be the case with the iPhone event. But no, Gurman decides to crush my dreams because he says Apple has begun recording the September event, and so clearly this is not going to be in person, which to be honest is quite a bummer. Now some may take this as a sign that of course Apple might be wanting to stick to these recorded events and not go back to the in-person events, and personally I don't think that's the case because they clearly do want media and press back at the events. We saw this with DubDub. Even though this was pre-recorded, they did have media and also of course developers at campus. And so I do think Apple's missing this element of their events. And so yes, personally, I am still very optimistic that of course, with the AR/VR headset announcement, we could see Apple go back to in-person events, and I'm really hoping that's the case. And personally, for a massive announcement like the Apple headset, Apple surely wants a live crowd reacting to how cool this headset is instead of a stream where of course the event won't be as exciting in my opinion. Now I do want to say there is a very good chance Apple does still invite press on campus because we saw with the WWDC event there was a hands-on section for the MacBook Air, so of course similar to that, right after the recorded event is over, Apple can of course give press access to the 14 models and make the hands-on videos. And that is another part of the in-person events I do kind of miss, and so I'm hoping that press are invited to this iPhone September event. Now regarding what's going to be announced, Gurman does surprisingly tell us the only two categories Apple's going to cover are the iPhone and the Apple Watch. It seems that the base iPad, which is usually announced at this event, might be pushed back for the October event, which Gurman does say is in the works, and that's going to be focused on the Mac and the iPad. And I guess I could understand why Apple might do this because we are expecting iPadOS to launch in October with macOS instead of September with iOS, and so I could see Apple launching both the iPad Pro and the base iPads alongside iPadOS 16. Also, there are quite a lot of announcements within the iPhone and Apple Watch categories themselves because obviously we're getting a new max size for the regular iPhone, then the Pros which are getting massive upgrades, but also with the Apple Watch, there's going to be the Series 8 but also the SE2 and of course the Apple Watch Pro. So yeah, that is already many products that could easily fill this 1 hour event. However, I do wonder which event the Apple TV and the AirPods Pro 2 are going to be announced in because Gurman does not mention anything about those, but we are expecting refreshes to both those products in the fall, so there is a very good chance we could see those announced at the September event. And yeah, especially when it comes to the Apple TV, that being such a minor refresh, I can see Apple making space for that within the September event. Though I do want to say there is always a chance Apple does site refreshes. In fact, this used to be the norm pre-COVID for small announcements, but of course with the ease that comes with these recorded events, it seems that Apple's willing to announce anything on stage, even if the changes are pretty minimal. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember the iPhone SE3 announcement. Literally the only change was the A15 chip and 5G support, but Apple still thought that hey, announcing this on stage was worth it. Anyways, back to this year's September event. For those wondering when the event's going to take place, Max Weinbach believes September 6th should be the event date, and then the iPhones go on sale on the 16th. Now this would actually be a little earlier than usual because usually the iPhones go on sale towards the end of the month, and of course the event takes place on the second Tuesday of the month, and so the event taking place on the 13th does make more sense. Then again, with the virtual events, Apple does have the flexibility to have the event whenever they like. In fact, I remember the MacBook event was actually on a Monday, which was a first for Apple because, as I said, Apple usually has events on Tuesdays. However, because there was a Pixel 6 event, Apple pushed their event forward to Monday. Also, I just remembered, with the virtual events, Apple did initially announce them a week before the event, but then after the October 2021 event, they've been announcing it 6 days prior. So once again, that shows you how much flexibility Apple has with these events. And so there is a chance Max is right about this, and we do see an event that's a little earlier than usual. I do want to mention though that Max has another source telling us the event could be on the 7th instead, and in case you're wondering why Apple might do this, well, Max does explain that Labor Day in the US is on a Monday, so of course, Apple may not want their event the day after Labor Day, and so of course, they have the event on the 7th instead. And Apple has had Wednesday events before, for example the XS event, so yeah, this could be the case. And so yes, the event should take place around that time frame. And for those wondering if there's going to be any delays with these iPhones, due to the tension between China and Taiwan right now, there is some good news because Tim has prepared for this, and he does plan to produce iPhone 14 models simultaneously in China and India. So of course, if there are issues with China, they can instead rely on Indian production. And that is great news because Apple is kind of too reliant on the supply chain over in China. So of course, diversifying their chains and producing these iPhones in different countries is going to be a great move. And yes, I know the iPhone 14 Max shipments were supposedly behind the other models, but Koi believes there won't be a delay, and I'm going to side with him because he knows a lot about the supply chain. So yes, do not worry guys, iPhone 14 should be arriving on time. Anyways, those are all the new tidbits, but tell me in the comments below guys, which of the rumoured products are you hyped about? Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the above on details regarding AirPods Pro 2, and on that note, see ya peeps.